Pup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
We're back on the CHS Refinery McPherson pregame show, and we are ready to rock here from the Roundhouse tonight. Jim Joyner and Steve Sell on 96.7 FM KBBE. Steve, we get back quickly here with all the festivities. Time now for our keys to the game, presented by Alliance Agency, Inc., located on the second floor of the Warren Place. What's your key as we go to center court?
Rebounding. The Bullpups are really going to have to rebound this Manhattan team with 3 6-footers, and they're very athletic. Got to keep them off the boards.
Manhattan wins the opening tip. Christiana Carr wins it over the center for the Bullpups, Cassie Cooks. Bullpups send their normal starting 5 out on the floor. Taylor Robertson, Cassie Cooks, Lakin Schieferecke, and Hannah Hageman, and Riley Hett. And Taylor Robertson immediately comes away with a steal. Pass is thrown up the floor. Ball is saved down on the deck, and Manhattan will keep a possession here just underway from the Roundhouse. Manhattan will start back over into the right corner. Christiana Carr knocks down a 3, and that is the number and the person you have to keep your eye on. Christiana Carr averaging 18 points per game, and she gives the Indians a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, and she really struggled the first 2 nights of this tournament. 1 for 10 the first night, then 2 for 8 in the first half. Kind of found the shot a little bit. Bullpups look a little tight.
Riley Hett trying to match her 3-ball from the top, and she does. Riley Hett knocks down another 3. She hit one last night and knocks down another one tonight. That is her 17th on the season. All knotted up at 3 apiece with 7 to go in the first quarter.
Trying to figure out this defense. I guess it's man-to-man, it looks like, with Hett on Carr. That'll be a key matchup.
Kaya Wilson dribbles in, kicks back out, dribbling in down the right side is Garen Williams. Kicks it back out, and a 3-second will be called on the big player in the post there for Manhattan. Kaya Wilson, the 6'1" junior, 13 points per game, and the team's leading rebounder at 7.2 per.
Yeah, she's got her fingers taped up. I was told that she's playing with a broken finger. Of course, Lakin Schieferecke playing with a mask on her face from a broken nose.
Lakin Schieferecke brings the basketball from left to right, coming off of a nice game last night of 6 points. The Bullpups 57-32 win over the Falcons of Olathe South. 3-3, 6:30 to go in this opening quarter. Robertson rolls off the screen from Hannah Hageman. Now they'll swing it over to the left side. Schieferecke dribbles in, kicks out Taylor with a ball fake, step back 3, good! Taylor Robertson knocks down a 3, and the Bullpups take a 6-3 lead.
And it was really funny for the game. Christiana Carr and Taylor Robertson got up right into each other and looked at them. They kind of smiled, and neither one of them said a word, and then went onto the court. That was kind of neat.
Christiana Carr misses a 3 on the end for Manhattan, so the Bullpups with a 6-3 lead, 6 to go in the first quarter. Schieferecke picks up her dribble at the right elbow, back out to Taylor. She's being defended by Christiana Carr. A couple of future Big 12 players going against each other. OU and K-State. Great pass into the lane. Cassie Cooks can't finish inside the lane, and a rebound pulled down from the floor by Kaya Wilson. Immediately up the floor for Christiana Carr for Manhattan, the number 2 team at 6A, coming in with a 10-1 record. The Bullpups 11-1. Into the lane for Wilson. Now spinning around back out to Worthington. Dribbling in. Left hand, Garen Williams. Shot a little bit too strong. Rebound tipping around. Haley Harper has it. And now a foul will be called on the floor that waves off the Manhattan basket.
Yeah, there's that rebounding we talked about. And Manhattan getting second opportunity here.
Kathy Cooks will pick up the first foul of the game. 5:29 to go in the opening frame. 6-3 Bullpups. A couple of threes. 3 threes.
And last night they made 5 in the first quarter.
Christiana Carr inbounds on the baseline to our left. Manhattan in the road, blue uniforms with some red and blue camouflage going down the side of their uniforms. Bullpups in their home whites.
And speaking of camouflage, the student section in their camouflage, I see the bus right there in the front row.
I can't even see him because of all the camo. Driving in and finishing with her left hand is Garen Williams to get Manhattan back to within 1, 6-5. Her first basket of the game. Garen Williams, the team's leader in assists at 3.4 a game. Bullpups come to the end to our right. Back to the top of the circle for Lakin Schieferecke. Schieferecke, Hett, Robertson, Cassie Cooks, and Hannah Hageman on the floor. Into the lane. Cassie going to work, spinning off the backboard and rolls in and out. Ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Riley Hett. And back to Manhattan.
Man, Cassie Cooks getting fantastic position. Both shots just rimming off. Looked like she'd made both of them, but they just lipped off. Cassie Cooks doing a real strong job on the inside right now.
There's the full court pressure, but Manhattan escapes it easily, and finishing with her left hand is Kaya Wilson. Manhattan back up on top, 7-6, and now the Indians turn it over in the backcourt. Back to Christiana Carr, pull up from the free throw line. This one's short. Ball will go out of bounds and back to the Bullpups, so they're lucky to get away with no points there.
Yeah, and the Bullpups, they had a little shakiness there last night in the second quarter. Ended up with 9 first-half turnovers and then did a lot better. But they have these little stretches where sometimes they just kind of get in a rush and turn the ball over.
Lake and Schieferecke at half court brings the basketball left to right. Bullpups trailing now 7-6. Riley Hett on the right wing being defended by Kaya Wilson. Hett dribbles toward the top of the circle. High screen from Taylor Robertson. She'll roll and receive the pass. Robertson now being defended by Wilson. Robertson step back three, but Wilson defends it perfectly and gets a finger on the ball. It wasn't her broken finger. Rebound Christiana Carr and the Indians running from right to left. Worthington steps out to the three-point line. Almost a bump on Taylor, but no foul called. Halfway through the first quarter, 7-6 Manhattan. Driving in, Garen Williams draws the foul. They will call it on the floor. So team foul number 2 against the Bullpups. And this one will be called on Hannah Hageman.
And Manhattan having no trouble getting to the basket. So Coach Strathman, he's going to go to Emma Ruddle. She's a little bit bigger than Hett. And now Mandy Cooks, of course, will bring a little more size than her sister Cassie. So Coach Strathman going to the bench pretty early here.
Carr inbounding on the baseline, all the way back out to the top. Worthington misses the three with the left hand, and now the rebound secured by Lake and Schieferecke, and a foul called against Manhattan. That'll be team foul number 1 against the Indians. Manhattan with a 7-6 lead, and Garen Williams will pick up the first.
Those unpredictable McPherson College women tonight, Jim. They just lost a team that was 4-18, but they beat the second-place team in the KCAC tonight after beating the defending champion last week. Bulldogs win against Sterling at the Sports Center.
Lake and Schieferecke is picked up by Garen Williams, the full length of the floor. Back to Taylor Robertson on the offensive end. Mandy Cook sets a high screen. The flare screen. Robertson left wing. No on the three. Rebound hits the floor and then secured by Garen Williams. Manhattan wants to run. They have no problem at playing at this pace. Now a three ball from Christiana Carr misses short. Rebound kept alive by the Indians, but right into the arms of Lake and Schieferecke. Bullpups with numbers going from left to right. Robertson pull up three in transition. Hits off the front iron, hits off the backboard, and a rebound for Manhattan High and Garen Williams. 3:10 to go in the opening quarter. 7-6 Indians.
Yeah, one and done every time for the Bullpups. They're not getting any offensive rebounds. Manhattan, a very tall team.
Worthington runs the pick and roll for Manhattan. Misses the left-handed shot in the lane, but great defense and box out for Hannah Hageman as she secures the rebound, and the Bullpups will slow this tempo down. Under 3 to go in the first quarter. 7 Manhattan, 6 McPherson.
Yeah, Hageman's going to have to be big tonight. She's going to have to come up with some rebounds. And Emma Ruddle's had 2 great games in this tournament off the bench.
Hageman left all alone in the right corner, misses a short three, and now the rebound grabbed by Haley Harper, and a foul will be called on Taylor Robertson in the backcourt.
Yeah, Bullpups have not scored in almost 4 minutes now. Riley Hett coming back in, and let's see who, she may come in for Robert, no, it's coming in for Schieferecke. And Christiana Carr is saying, why am I coming out of the game? Also, Kaya Wilson, I should say. It's not Kia, it's Kaya. She is coming out of the game. So 2 of the standouts for Manhattan on the bench. And what we've seen from Manhattan is they're not as strong off the bench as the Bullpups.
Taylor Johnson and Josie Hilgers check into the game for Manhattan High. Both of them combined to score about 5 points per game. And now a turnover against the Indians as they throw this one away into the baseline. Still 7-6 with 2:22 to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, not a real strong start for either team. Maybe a little championship game nerves here.
Manhattan scores just under 60 points per game this year, and McPherson at 60.4, 2 of the highest scoring teams in this Mid-America Classic. Championship game on the line here. Entry pass into the lane. Mandy scores, and the Bullpups take an 8-7 lead. Mandy had 6 last night and gets her first bucket here tonight.
And looking more and more comfortable. She'll be just fine.
Indians bring the basketball into the front court, swinging it into the right corner, and a great cut to the basket. Pulling up in transition, Taylor Johnson misses a shot short, but a foul called against the Bullpups on the shot, sending Taylor Johnson to the free throw line for 2. Foul called on Riley Hett.
Yeah, you really don't hear much about the other Manhattan players other than Wilson, Worthington, and Carr, but they do have some other players that are very capable.
Taylor Johnson to the free throw line for 2 here. She is a perfect 11 for 11 on the season and hits the first. And that ties the game up at 8. Maggie Leaf checking into the game for Hannah Hageman in an 8-8 tie, 1:49 to go in the first quarter. Second one coming for Taylor Johnson to give Manhattan the lead, and she does.
Very fast-moving quarter here, Jim.
9-8 Manhattan. They have led for a majority of this quarter. Majority of it was 7-6. Riley Hett bringing the basketball from left to right. Tough defense from Haley Harper out beyond the ring. Riley Hett dribbles in, now back to the free throw line, or back to the three-point line. Hett dribbling to her right, going to the basket to our right. Emma Ruddle on the right wing. Flips a pass down low for Mandy Cooks. Draws the double team. Back out to Leaf. Wide open at the free throw line and gets the roll. Off the back iron and drops down. Maggie Leaf, coming off of a career-high 7 last night, puts the Bullpups back out in front, 10-9.
And she never hurts the Bullpups when she's in there. She always does something good off the bench.
And she's always very efficient with her shooting, never takes a bad shot. Worthington dribbles in, now kicks back out to the left wing. Taylor Johnson knocks down the open three with 1 minute to go in the first quarter, and Manhattan with a 12-10 lead.
And Taylor Johnson's a player we haven't really heard much about in this tournament, but she's stepping up now with 5 points.
Here's Taylor Robertson, dribbles over to the left wing for Riley Hett. Hett with a bounce pass up top for Maggie Leaf. Bullpups settling into the offense here. 40 seconds to go in this opening frame. Ruddle drives the baseline, picks up her dribble, now pulls up from 10 feet. This one misses short, rebound secured by Megan Worthington of Manhattan. And now the Indians have a chance for the final shot if they want it in this first quarter, but they might not. Here now, 25 seconds left, dribbling in. Haley Harper knocks down a running 2 in the lane, and Manhattan with its largest lead at 4.
And this is the best Manhattan has looked in the tournament. I didn't think they looked good at all the first day. They looked pretty good last night. They've looked great so far tonight.
A 41-40 win in overtime over Shawnee Mission Northwest and a 46-29 win over Wichita Northwest. Now 5 seconds left in the first quarter. Ruddle passes to Taylor Robertson. Robertson coming down to the buzzer, had a 3 at the end of the first quarter, rims in and out. And Manhattan, after 8 minutes, holds a 14-10 lead here in the Mid-America Classic title game. The Indians are in search of their second ever Mid-America Classic title. At the end of one, Manhattan 14, McPherson 10. We're back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
You're listening to McPherson Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
Start of the second quarter here from the Roundhouse on the final day of the Mid-America Classic and the final game of this Mid-America Classic. Jim Joyner and Steve Sell on 96.7 FM KBBE, or for those of you listening online worldwide at MidKansasOnline.com. Manhattan jumps out to a 14-10 lead over the Bullpups here to start, Steve. And this is I've been seeing is that the Bullpups have had a hard time getting shots that they want to take.
Well, Taylor Robertson simply can't shake loose. The one thing about Taylor, she's not a very quick player. She's got to count on screens to get open shots, and so far they have just locked her down. She's only taken, she's 1 for 4 so far.
And now Grace Pyle, who just checked into the game, throws a pass wide of Taylor Robertson and out of bounds on the sideline. That is turnover number 4 against McPherson.
McPherson just 4 out of 12 in that first quarter.
Christiana Carr, the K-State commit, dribbles the basketball from right to left. Now working on Riley Hett. Carr dribbling in, gets stripped. Ball knocked out of bounds and last touched off of her knee and back to McPherson. So the teams exchange turnovers here on their first possessions. Manhattan comes out in the full court pressure. No inbound to Taylor Robertson, who's picked up the entire length of the floor by Christiana Carr, a couple of players that will be going head-to-head here for the next 4 years as Sooners and as Wildcats. Robertson driving in on the baseline, draws a double team, scoops a pass out. Hageman, open 3, this one way short. Might have been deflected, but the ball goes out of bounds. Manhattan ball over on the right baseline, 14-10 Indians.
I'm not sure what happened on that shot. It was about 5 feet short. I don't know if she pulled the string. I thought maybe it got deflected.
Christiana Carr being defended by Riley Hett. Carr swings the pass here to the left side for Kaya Wilson. Wilson back up top for Taylor Johnson, already with 5 points in this game. Steps the pass over to the left wing. Cassie Cooks is giving Wilson all day, giving her about 10 feet of separation. Carr dribbling in, pulls up, right elbow, too strong. Off the back iron and a rebound for Taylor Robertson out at the free throw line. Under 7 to go in the first half. 14 Manhattan, 10 McPherson, and now a reach will be called on Christiana Carr, and that's what you'd like to see. She picks up her first and team foul number 2.
And in that first quarter, a real key stat, Manhattan doubling the Bullpups on the boards. That was our key to victory, was the Bullpups being able to rebound, and Manhattan had 10 rebounds and just 5 for the Bullpups in that first quarter.
Grace Pyle inbounds to Riley Hett. Kick out in the right corner. Hageman thought about a 3, but then remembered about that shot she took about 5 minutes ago, or about 2 minutes ago. Grace Pyle dribbles right wing. Robertson left open 3, misses off to the right, but a long rebound grabbed by Riley Hett, the first offensive rebound for the Bullpups in this game.
We got to get something inside.
Now Grace Pyle, instead she tries something from outside, almost gets the roll from 3, but a rebound underneath by Josie Hilgers. 5'9" senior doesn't even score a point a game.
Bullpups have got to get some inside scoring like we did last night. Last night our post players were 7 out of 8. So far we've got nothing on the inside.
14-10 Manhattan, 6:09 to go in the first half. Driving in, Hilgers throws up a shot and is fouled as she hits the deck and slides into the baseline. Team foul number 5 as Josie Hilgers will go to the free throw line for 2. Foul called on Hannah Hageman. That is her second.
Kind of keeping an eye on the MAC College game. They're up on Sterling 16-12 in the men's game. The MAC women upset Sterling, the second place team in the KCAC.
Hilgers will step to the free throw line where she's a 50% shooter on the season, 2 out of 4. 3.3 rebounds per game, but less than 1 point per as Hilgers misses the first.
Schieferecke and Ruddle coming back in. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Mandy Cooks come back in yet since the Bullpups struggling on the boards, but Ruddle will be taking Hett's place, so they're kind of tag teaming as they did last night. Ruddle and Hett, the two top defensive performers for the Bullpups.
Hilgers knocks down the second one, so she goes 1 for 2 at the stripe there, give her her first point of the game. And it's now a 15-10 Manhattan lead. Under 6 to go in the first half. Lake and Schieferecke being defended by Garrett Williams of Manhattan. Grace Pyle moves the basketball to the left wing for Emma Ruddle. Running that KU weave that Coach Kinnaman and I talked about last night on the broadcast. Robertson to the left wing for Grace Pyle. Works off a screen from Robertson. Pyle dribbles in, kicks out Ruddle. Cassie Cooks trying to seal down low, trying to call for the basketball. Pyle almost travels. A bounce pass gets to Cassie Cooks, and a reach will be called on Kyle Wilson. Almost a travel, then almost a steal, but the Bullpups get the benefit of both.
You said almost a travel. It was a travel. It just didn't get called. That was definitely travel. You saw the people doing the circular motion with their hands. Grace Pyle coming out. Kind of a big moment for her. Might be kind of big for her. She's not used to playing as much high-stress situations.
Lob into the lane for Mandy Cooks out of the inbounds. Robertson a 3 like they've done so many times. Taylor with her second 3 of the game, and it makes it a 2-point Manhattan lead.
And I don't know how Scott Mall didn't know that play was coming. The Bullpups run it all the time. Bullpups giving away Wilson inside, but they get away with it. Ruddle with a good rebound.
And a tip out there by Cassie Cooks. Bullpups now trailing by 2, 15-13. Schieferecke pass down low, Cassie Cooks going to work, and an offensive foul called. Oh my, Kyle Wilson didn't have the position, but a foul called against Cassie Cooks. Ball going back the other way.
Yeah, Coach Strathman really not happy about that one. Leith now in for Cassie because that's 2 fouls on Cassie Cooks. So we may not see her the rest of that, but remember, the Bullpups are flush with talent in the post position.
Manhattan will walk the basketball from right to left. 5 minutes to go in the first half. 15-13 Indians. Worthington on the left wing. Maggie Leaf will defend her. Now a bad pass stolen by Emma Ruddle as he drops to a knee. She pops back up. Ruddle dribbling in coast to coast, and a foul called on Christiana Carr. That's number 2.
And that could be huge. Great take by Emma Ruddle again. I talk about it all the time, but her athleticism made that play. She just sprinted past Christiana Carr, and Carr had no choice but the foul. She should have just let her go, and Ruddle knocks down the first free throw.
First free throw of the night for McPherson. Ruddle with her first point, and she's having a great tournament here so far at the Mid-America Classic. This next free throw will make this a 15-15 game. And she misses instead. It's 15-14, but Mandy Cooks offensive rebound, ripping through off the backboard and one. Mandy Cooks with an and-one opportunity, and if this is on Christiana Carr, it's her third, and it is. Carr will have to spend the rest of this first half on the bench, and maybe some in the second half, and she is furious about that call. Bullpups go up 16-15.
Well, she should be furious at herself because she kind of just took a wild swing at trying to block it, and Mandy Cooks, that's why we have missed her.
And Mandy misses the and-one free throw. Bullpups still lead 16-15. Mandy already with 2 buckets in this one after averaging 13 per game a season ago. A third-team All-State performer. Now Ruddle knocks the basketball out of bounds on the sideline. 4:41 to go in the first half. And Bullpups back on top 16-15.
And they've really got to take advantage with Carr on the bench with 3 fouls. Look for... Well, Wilson's not in the game either, so Worthington's really going to have to pick up the slack along with Johnson.
Back to the top 4, Haley Harper swings it over to the right wing for Garrett Williams. Garrett Williams averaging 4.5 per game so far at this year's tournament. Williams dribbles to her left. She'll pull up from the top of the circle for 3. This one misses too strong, and Mandy Cooks Grabs the rebound out on the three-point line. 4:15 to go in this first half, and the Bullpups, the momentum has swung their way. 16-15. Emma Ruddle on the right wing. Lakin Schieferecke runs through the offense. Maggie Leaf down low. Mandy Cooks going to work. Head fake. Gets her way to the basket. And Mandy Cooks has 6 back-to-back buckets for Mandy Cooks. And the Bullpups go back up on top by 3.
You think Mandy Cooks is starting to get it back. She is playing possessed inside. That should have been a travel. Great defense by Ruddle again. And Maggie Leaf on the floor. These Bullpups are really fired up.
They will call it a foul, I believe, on Maggie Leaf, and if it is, it's team foul number 7, which will put Manhattan to the free throw line for a 1-and-1, and it is. So the Indians get the break there. It could have been called a jump ball, and that'll put Allie Osterman to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 here.
And Manhattan's going to have to get some production from some of its other players. Wilson's on the bench, Carr on the bench. That's a lot of pressure on some of those girls that haven't really had to do much.
Front end of the 1-and-1 is knocked down by Allie Osterman. That is her first attempt from the free throw line this year and her first make. Second one for Osterman to make this a 1-point game. And she does. So 2 points for her. And earlier today when I was talking with the Manhattan radio guy, Mitch Fortner, he said, oh, you won't have to worry about her name. She won't play. Well, already with 2 points here in the first half, 18-17 Bullpups, 3:45 to go in the first half.
Manhattan coming with a token pressure on defense here. Looked like they were going to come full court and just man-to-man pressure.
Taylor Robertson dribbles over to the left wing. Tough pass into the lane. Cassie Cooks. Ruddle left open 3-ball. Too strong. And a rebound on the backside by Megan Worthington. Manhattan wants to run. They could take the lead with anything here. Worthington up top, being defended by Maggie Leaf. Over to the left wing for Josie Hilgers. Now a head fake and driving. Taylor Johnson pulls up from 10 and knocks it down. And Manhattan goes back up on top. Taylor Johnson leading Manhattan with 7.
Taylor Johnson, I mean, where'd she come from? She's done nothing the first 2 games.
Taylor Johnson, 5'11" junior. Scored 9 points at last year's Mid-America Classic. Ruddle cuts to the basket, gets hit, gets her own miss, and finishes. Emma Ruddle with her first basket of the game. She's got 3, and the Bullpups back up on top by 1, 20-19.
And again, her athleticism made that play.
Driving in, kicking out to Haley Harper in the left corner. That shot is not there. Passes back out Worthington. Too strong off the backboard, and there's a tough rebound by Cassie Cooks underneath. Here comes Lakin Schieferecke, left to right. 2.5 to go in the first half. Bullpups with a 1-point lead. Schieferecke dribbles in. Pops from the free throw line. This one misses short. Long rebound, though. She grabs it herself, and a reach-in is called on the Indians. And picking up that foul will be Josie Hilgers, team foul number 6.
Just heard from Wilson. Wilson's excited about the Bullpups. Hadn't heard from Wilson.
Wilson.
We didn't get a shout-out to Wilson last night. I wasn't on the air. But Wilson wanted to make sure, that the Bullpups had luck on their side.
Andrea Sweat into the game for the first time for McPherson, as well as Mandy Cooks. Mandy was 6. Taylor Robertson inbounds to her, and they get it into the left corner. They'll reset up top with Riley Hett. Hett into the lane. Mandy stepping in. Another and 1. Mandy Cooks with a season-high 8. It didn't take long for that to happen. To the free throw line for an and 1 she goes. And we've talked about that energy that Mandy Cooks brings to the floor when she steps on it, and she is full of it tonight.
And that low post scoring presence. She's already got 8. And she ought to be in pretty good form at the free throw line. She competed in the free throw contest and took second place.
Timeout taken by Manhattan. McPherson leads 22-19 with 2:15 left to go in the first half. We're back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
You're listening to McPherson Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
2:15 left to go in the first half from the Roundhouse here in the Mid-America Classic title game. The Bullpups are playing for their 11th title, and this is the 19th time playing in this Mid-America Classic championship game. Mandy Cooks made the and 1 basket and now banks in the and 1 free throw. Mandy's got 9 points on the night to lead the Bullpups, and it's a 23-19 lead over Manhattan.
Yeah, and, Manhattan doing a great job on Taylor. She's only got 2 baskets. Of course, they were 3s. And Mandy Cooks, though, picking up the slack.
Taylor Robertson, Mandy Cooks, Riley Hett, Andrea Sweat, and Lakin Schieferecke, the 5 on the floor for the Bullpups. Over to the top of the circle for Josie Hilgers. Manhattan settling into the offense here, under 2 to go in the second quarter. Part of a packed Roundhouse crowd tonight. Passes back up top for Garrett Williams. And Manhattan really slowing things down for the first time tonight. And Taylor Johnson, who's leading the way for the Indians, gets called for a walk. Steve, you can feel some of that energy, some of that momentum shifting back the way of the Bullpups.
Exactly, and they got to make hay with Carr on the bench.
Christiana Carr, that's the headline so far early on in this game. She has 3 fouls here before we hit halftime, and more importantly, only 3 points. 23-19 McPherson, 90 seconds ago in this first half. Lakin Schieferecke dribbling out by the half-court line, over to the left wing for Taylor Robertson. Robertson works off the high screen from Andrea Sweat. Will fake the handoff to Schieferecke, dribbles down the left baseline, is fouled, and that will put Taylor to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 as Manhattan picks up its 8th team foul. Foul is called on Garen Williams. That's her second.
And Taylor won the three-point shooting contest this morning.
I bet she would have won the free throw shooting contest as well.
But I understand she had to win a shoot-off, so I don't know if she ran into some tough competition or just didn't have her usual form. But 4 years in a row for Taylor to win the three-point shooting contest, and what a job Mandy Cooks did as she comes out of the game.
Now with 9 fouls. Taylor hits the front end of the 1-and-1, as you probably could have guessed. And as you probably could have guessed, she hits both. Taylor Robertson on the season is 25 out of 26 from the free throw line. That is almost 100%. 25-19, the Bullpups with their largest lead of the game. Almost a travel, spinning into the lane. Garen Williams kicks out. 1:05 to go, and now Manhattan throws it into the bench in the spot that Coach Strathman normally sits in. Instead, he's standing, and he's redirecting traffic here. Mandy Cooks into the game for a quick substitution after the turnover, and Maggie Leaf will sit down. 25-19 McPherson, 1:03 left to go in this first half, and we'll see what they decide to do here for this final 60 seconds. With a 6-point lead, they don't want Manhattan to score again.
Well, and they've picked up 6 points since Christiana Carr went to the bench with her 3rd foul.
Andrea Sweat to the left wing for Riley Hett. Into the lane, Mandy going to work, stepping in, off the backboard, and in. Mandy Cooks with 11 in the first half, and the Bullpups with an 8-point lead, 27-19.
Oh, where would we be without Mandy tonight? She is playing on fire.
Manhattan swings the ball to the right side. 30 seconds to go in the first half. In their biggest hole of the night here so far. Garen Williams with a hesitation, drives the baseline, scoops a pass into the left corner for Haley Harper. Now 20 seconds left in the first half. Manhattan might settle for the final shot of this first half in the first 16 minutes. Williams dribbles in. Tough defense by Sweat. Pops the ball out for a moment. Now 10 seconds left. A deep three as the student section tricked Taylor Johnson into shooting a three with 10 seconds left. She knocks it down. 27-22. 2 seconds left. Taylor pulls up from three and is fouled with 0.4 seconds to go in the first half. Taylor might have done a little bit of an acting job there, but more importantly, Garen Williams picks up her 3rd personal. So Taylor to the free throw line for 3 with under a second to go in the first half.
Exactly, and you got to figure Bullpups are going to have a nice lead going into halftime in this really intense game.
Taylor Robertson, I just mentioned, 25 out of 26 at the line this season. 26 out of 27 as she knocks that down. 3 out of 3 tonight. Now with 9 points on the game. 2 more to come. She knocks down another one, in case you're wondering.
I don't think she's hit the rim on either one of them. I think they were just total swishes.
Taylor now with 10 points in the game. Mandy Cooks leading the Bullpups with 11, and Taylor will try and tie her partner in crime right here. And does. Nothing but net there as we go to the halftime break here at the Roundhouse in the Mid-America Classic title game. McPherson with a 30-22 lead over the Indians of Manhattan High. The reigning 6A state champions are on the ropes here at the Roundhouse as the Bullpups are trying to win their 11th Mid-America Classic title. 30 McPherson, 22 Manhattan as we take a 3-minute break here and come back on our Prairie Land Partners halftime show. We're back after this. You're listening to Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE. We're about ready to start the second half here from the Roundhouse of the championship game of this year's Mid-America Classic. The Bullpups lead the Manhattan High Indians 30-22 with 16 minutes to go in this game. Steve Salas, we start this second half. One of the biggest keys in that first half was playing without Christiana Carr on the floor. She sat out nearly the final 5 minutes of the first half, and in that stretch, the Bullpups won 16-7.
Yeah, she went out with 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go in that second quarter, and the Bullpups opened up a pretty good lead there while she was on the bench. So again, I think you got to take it right to her.
Starting 5 on the floor for the Bullpups: Taylor Robertson, Hannah Hageman, Riley Hett, Lakin Schieferecke, and Cassie Cooks. Taylor finished the first half with 11 points, as well as Mandy Cooks, who starts the second half on the bench here. We're underway in half number 2. The Manhattan High Indians going to the basket to our right. And speaking of Christiana Carr, she'll try a 3 right out of the gate. No. And a rebound in the lane, grabbed by Taylor Robertson. Make her 1 out of 6 from the field. Taylor dribbles from right to left, thought about pulling up in traffic, instead dribbles over to the right side, drives the baseline, scoops a pass for Schieferecke on the baseline, back out, Hett, wide open, look for 3, this time it's too strong, rebound in the lane, grabbed by Hannah Hageman, dives to the floor to keep it alive, back out, Robertson, a 3, and knocks it down, 33-22, as the Bullpups have opened up an 11-point lead.
But you can give that basket to Hannah Hageman because she's the one that kept the play alive with her hustle. And again, that's what makes this Bullpup team so good. Everybody on the floor can really play.
Christiana Carr passes into the right corner for Kyle Wilson. Wilson, the left-hander, a couple of left-handers on this Manhattan team. They get it to Wilson, and an offensive foul going the other way underneath. Megan Worthington was fighting for position and slammed up against Cassie Cooks down low, and the Bullpups getting the breaks here to start this second half.
And Ricky Tucker's telling Scott Ball, I think Scott Ball feels like it may be he's getting homered a little bit here, but I don't think so. You know, the fouls were almost even that first half.
Hannah Hageman inbounds to Lakin Schieferecke, and Lakin will walk this ball up the floor from right to left. Just underway in the second half, McPherson with a 33-22 lead over the visiting Manhattan High Indians in the title game here. Riley Hett with a pass into the lane for Cassie Cooks. Scoops his pass up, dribbles and passes out. Lakin Schieferecke joisting through the defense and scores at the rim. Lakin with her first basket of the game, and the Bullpups lead by 13. The largest lead of this game, 35-22. Into the lane, Wilson, turnaround good. Kaya Wilson gets her second basket of the game and cuts that lead back to 11. That's the answer that Manhattan needed.
Well, for Manhattan, it's going to have to start on the defensive end. They're down 11 points, and Taylor let loose.
This time way too strong. Tough defense there by the Indians. Now 2-on-1 break going the other way. Worthington dribbling in off the backboard. No. Rebound, Hannah Hageman. That should have been an easy 2 there for Manhattan. Instead, the Bullpups will run. Driving the baseline. Robertson scoops a pass. Left hand. Riley Hett scores. Taylor Robertson credited with the assist, and Riley Hett onto the board for point number 5 tonight, and it's a 13-point lead. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Now Carr is stripped up the floor. Robertson leaking through, fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line for 2. She wanted that and 1, but instead she'll have to earn those 2 at the free throw line.
And I think if you're Coach Scott Mall, you better get a timeout because it is getting away from Manhattan, and the McPherson girls have a chance to double the pleasure, double the fun as far as tournaments the last 2 weekends.
McPherson teams here in the Roundhouse and tournament season are 5-0. The Bullpups 7 out of 9 from the free throw line in the first half. Taylor Robertson 4 out of 4. Make it 5 out of 5.
And this is about the most free throws she's shot in a game this year.
She came into this tournament at 19 out of 20. So that was 20 free throws in 10 games, which is way below the production that she had last year at 106 attempts in 25 games, and Taylor misses the second one. That is just her first miss since about December 19th. And now a timeout taken by Coach Scott Mall. He was listening to Steve Tell as he's standing right in front of us. Right after the miss, the Bullpups lead Manhattan 38-24 with 5:36 left to go in the third quarter. We'll take a 30-second break. We're back after this. You're listening to Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
You're listening to McPherson Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
McPherson leads Manhattan 38-24 with 5:36 to go in the third quarter of the 23rd Mid-America Classic title game. Jim Joyner and Steve Sal as the Bullpups come back out onto the floor. And Mandy original Cooks. Starting 5 with the exception of Cassie Cooks out of the game for Mandy
and
Cooks.
All Mandy did in that first half was kind of put the Bullpups on her back there for a good stretch of that second quarter.
5 out of 5 from the field and 11 points. Carr for Manhattan over on the wing to our right. Being defended by Riley Hett, who has locked her down tonight. Carr also playing with 3 fouls. Dribbles in, draws the double team, rips it through, and the pass is stolen away by Lakin Schieferecke. Carr almost could have been called for a reach in the backcourt. Schieferecke dribbles in, pulls up right elbow, and a knockdown J for Lakin Schieferecke. 2 baskets in this second half, and the Bullpups lead by 16.
And I told you, all year, Lakin Schieferecke she can shoot much better than she's shown so far. And Carr getting very frustrated. She took a bad 3 there.
She's pushing it a little bit. She misses from the right wing. Rebound, Riley Hett. Bullpups trying to put the hammer down here. Riley Hett dribbles over to the right wing. Hands off. Taylor Robertson thought about a 3. Here comes the triple team. Slips a pass back to the right corner. Cooks in the lane will be called for a traveler. It's probably good because it might have been a charge.
And that's one thing Mandy has a tendency to do. She has a hop in her step, and she gets called for a lot of traveling calls because she gets so much in a hurry. You know, sometimes she just has to quit being so amped up and kind of relax a little bit. She was really getting ready to score there.
Carr comes to the bench for Manhattan. McPherson leads 40-24, 4:35 to go in the third quarter. To the right wing for Haley Harper. She's yet to score in this game. And she had the winning free throws in overtime to beat Shawnee Mission Northwest in the weekend's opening game back at 3 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. Taylor Johnson has 10 points in this game for Manhattan, leading the Indians. Johnson dribbles in, back out, down low. Kyle Wilson misses 2. Tough defense there for Mandy Cooks. A second shot is missed by Wilson, and Mandy Cooks with a rebound. Great defense and a great box out to keep the ball in the hands of the Bullpups. And now Coach Strathman wants a timeout after the Bullpups walk it from right to left.
I think Taylor Robertson needed a blow. I think that's why he called that timeout. And instead of taking her out of the game for about 1 minute like he normally does, he just calls a timeout. That way she doesn't miss any game action.
We'll keep it right here. McPherson leads Manhattan 40-24 with 4:05 left to go in this third quarter. Steve with a 16-point lead. Manhattan is a team with all the size, with all the shooting. This is a team that you can't let them hang around in this game or they might just give you some problems. Right now is the Bullpups' chance to put this game away going into the fourth quarter.
Exactly, and Christiana Carr is just so frustrated. She's on the bench now because really she's not doing her team a whole lot of good. You know, she took couple ill-advised shots from way outside. And, you know, she's probably going to make the all-tournament team, but you look at what she's done in this tournament. She was 1 of 10 the first night, and the first half tonight she was, 1 of 5, and she's missed at least 2 or 3 shots this half, so she's only made 1 out of 8 in this game. So she's going to get it because of what she did in the semis. But really, her other teammates have been better than her in this tournament.
Bullpups back with the basketball out of the timeout. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, a 40-24 lead. Robertson feels a triple team coming down, dumps the pass. Cassie Cooks in the lane is fouled, and Cassie will go to the free throw line for 2. And that's the problem when you triple team a player like Taylor Robertson. Even when you double team her, she is so good at passing and always finds the open man.
Yeah, and we played 4 minutes in this second half and only 2 points so far for Manhattan. It was the Bullpups defense that was just phenomenal last night. I think, what, they give up 10 points the second half last night?
Yeah, 5 in the third quarter, 5 in the fourth quarter as Cassie Cooks knocks down the first of 2 free throws there. She's on the board for the first time tonight, so 12 between the Cooks sisters.
And I told this story this morning on our coaches show, but I saw Taylor Robertson after the game, and she looked at me. You know, Taylor's a girl of very few words, and all she did, she pointed at me, and she goes, "One more." And what that means is she wants that classic championship. She and Mandy both, they have not won one in their illustrious McPherson careers.
The lead is 18, 42-24 McPherson. Manhattan needing an answer. Dribbling in, Garen Williams leaves this one short. Ball knocked out of bounds off of Manhattan, and they cannot catch a break in this second half. They have just struggled to get any sort of good looks, and so far in this second half, they've only scored 1 basket.
And we haven't given enough credit to Lakin Schieferecke tonight for running this offense. You know, she's the primary ball handler, bringing the ball up, and she is very, very smooth with the basketball.
Speaking of smooth, driving the baseline, and now trying to save it. Instead throws it right into the arms of Kaya Wilson, who makes a nice catch. Manhattan back to the offensive end. Bullpups outscoring Manhattan 12-2 in the third quarter. Here's Haley Harper dribbling into the lane. Spins but just shy of the free throw line. Shot goes up and a rebound for Hannah Hageman. She has been all over the glass so far tonight. That is her 5th board. 2:55 to go in the third quarter. McPherson 42, Manhattan 24. Taylor Robertson dribbles the basketball over to the right wing for Emma Ruddle. Ruddle clears out, back up top, Cassie Cooks. They'll swing it here to the near side for Lakin Schieferecke. Schieferecke back up top, Ruddle. Steps into a three. Wide open look. Too strong. Rebound tips off the hands of Hannah Hageman and secured by Manhattan's Garen Williams. Long pass up the floor. Taylor Johnson, turn around in the lane. No. Ball knocked out of bounds. And it will go back to the Bullpups.
Pyle and Sweat into the game. It is just relentless off the bench. Now Mandy Cooks also coming back in. Taylor Robertson's going to get a blow probably for the last 2:29 plus a minute of the timeout. So Taylor will get about a 3.5-minute rest here. But it's going to be up to Schieferecke to make sure and handle the ball along with Grace Pyle.
Grace Pyle will walk the ball from right to left. Working on Christiana Carr back into the game for Manhattan. Pyle dribbles here to the left side. Bullpups going to the basket to our left. Grace left open for three. Dumps the pass for Mandy Cooks. Turns around, squares up to the basket. She feels the triple team. Mandy dives to the floor, secures it, but a jump ball will be called, and it will stick with the Bullpups. Coach Strathman wanted a timeout, but it's probably best that he didn't burn it there.
Again, Mandy just needs to slow down a little bit. She is trying to go so fast, and she's just, getting in a hurry and not handling the ball like she normally does. Just take her time like she did in that first half, and she'll score.
Schieferecke inbounding. She'll throw it up top, Grace Pyle. They ran the play for her, 1 of the 3. Passes up a look. Left wing, Ruddle leaves it short. Offensive rebound, Mandy Cooks fighting through the double team, and a jump ball will be called again. If she would have caught it and immediately gone up, she would have had the look, but instead put the ball on the floor.
She did not need to put the ball on the floor. She goes right back up. She probably scores or is fouled at the worst. Christiana Carr back in, and what a miserable night she has had. It's been very frustrating for her.
Emma Ruddle and Riley Head have had the job of locking her down. So far, 3 points and 1 out of 7. Ruddle playing defense on Carr now, dribbles in, throws the ball off of Lakin Schieferecke, and it will stick with Manhattan on the baseline to our right.
And Emma Ruddle is athletic enough to stay with Carr. Carr is such a graceful athlete, a little bit taller than Emma, but Emma has the speed advantage.
At 6'1", they'll inbound right into the lane, and right underneath the basket for Josie Hilger. She is fouled, and that is team foul number 1 against the Bullpups here in the second half. It's called on Grace Pyle with 1:48 to go before the start of the fourth quarter.
Well, neither team's really done much fouling in this game. Very clean game, and I feel like they've done a good job, and there's a bank shot free throw.
Hilger's now 2 out of 3 at the free throw line in this game. Manhattan as a team is now 6 out of 7. Bullpups 10 out of 13 from the stripe. Second one for Hilgers. This time does not bank it in. She just knocks it down without using that backboard. Hilgers in the game now with 3, and Manhattan has cut this lead to 16. 42-26 Bullpups. Working to the end to our left. Lakin Schieferecke, Grace Pyle, Emma Ruddle, Andrea Sweat, and Mandy Cooks on the floor. Pyle dribbles here to the near side for Ruddle. Ruddle into the right corner, Andrea Sweat. They'll move the offense back to the top. Schieferecke feels the double team, kick out left corner for Ruddle, and she is called for a travel.
Again, the Bullpups do not need to be in a hurry. For whatever reason, they are just really trying, they're going too fast. Just need to settle down. That's, they're kind of turning it over a little bit here in the third quarter, kind of reminiscent of the second quarter last night.
Bullpups only with 8 turnovers in this game, 1:15 to go in the third quarter, 42-26 McPherson. Manhattan zips a pass over here to the near side. Taylor Johnson tries to knock down 3. No. Christiana Carr with the rebound, tries to put back. She's fouled. That'll put Carr to the free throw line for 2. Emma Ruddle will pick up her first personal.
Christiana Carr scored with 7:25 in the first quarter, which means she scored 35 seconds into the game. She has not scored until that free throw that she just knocked down.
Carr now with 4. Coming into this game averaging 18 per. She's an 81% free throw shooter. Came into this tournament 31 out of 38. And so far in this tournament, 7 out of 8 at the stripe. Second one rattles it home. Couple of subs will check in. Taylor Robertson in, Cassie Cooks in, and now Garen Williams in for Manhattan. The Indians will show full court pressure. McPherson leading by 14 as Andrea Sweat inbounds for Lakin Schieferecke. Schieferecke feeling the full court pressure, gets the separation. Bullpups now with numbers. Sweat passes off. Cassie Cooks dumps it down, tries to find Grace Pyle, keeps it alive on the baseline. Kick out Schieferecke, left open, 3 ball, misses. Rebound tips out of bounds, but saved by Cassie Cooks. Robertson in the left corner, draws a double team. Back to Schieferecke with a head fake, drives in, kicks out. Grace Pyle, 3 ball, no! And a rebound grabbed underneath for the moment. This will be a foul called against Manhattan as Lakin Schieferecke hit the deck. We'll see who they give it to. That's team foul number 3 against the Indians, and it will be called on Megan Worthington.
And I think Coach Strathman might just go ahead and go for the last shot here. Even though it's 38 seconds left, I think he may just go for the last one.
Sweat takes the inbounds, passes up top for Grace Pyle. Pyle to the right wing for Cassie Cooks, playing out on the perimeter here. Cooks back to Schieferecke now with 25 to go in the third quarter. McPherson with a 14-point lead and a football score here, 42-28. Lakin Schieferecke avoids the 5-second call, now dribbles it down to 15 seconds. Being defended by Christiana Carr, out by half court. 12 seconds, Schieferecke, left wing, Grace Pyle, now with 10. Back to the top, Sweat, throws it over into the right corner. She thought Taylor Robertson was camped out over there, and instead throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's just a little miscommunication there. Taylor says that's okay. Now Maggie Leaf coming in for defensive purposes, and so is Riley Hett. Boy, I'll tell you, Coach Strathman and now also Hannah Hageman, he's getting his defensive team on the floor. He's making all the right moves right now.
So Hageman, Hett, Pyle, as well as Maggie Leaf and Lakin Schieferecke, the 5 on the floor. Manhattan was 7.3 to go in this third quarter. They're inbounding on the far left corner. They've got to go all the way here to the right. Inbounds for Haley Harper. Crosses half court with 5. Harper dribbles behind her back, loses it at the free throw line. Kicks out. Williams knocks down a 3 to end the third quarter here. So Manhattan with a little bit of a surge and a 7-0 run to close out the third quarter.
And Coach Strathman wanted us to foul, so they didn't get the shot off. They'd have to take the ball out because they only had 2 fouls. So they had several fouls to give there. Just kind of a mistake on the Bullpups' part there. Manhattan finishes with a 7-0 run.
Well, here we go. We start the fourth quarter from the Roundhouse after this. McPherson 42, Manhattan 31. The Mid-America Classic title is on the line. We're back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
You're listening to McPherson Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
Start of the fourth quarter here from the Roundhouse. Jim Joyner and Steve Sell on 96.7 FM KBBE as the Bullpups lead Manhattan 42-31 in the Mid-America Classic title game, 8 minutes away from securing title number 11. Manhattan is playing for its second title since 2012.
And Manhattan finished that quarter very, very strong.
Manhattan, the reigning 6A state champions, 24-1 last year. That one loss came in this exact game against the Falcons of Olathe South. Bullpups start the fourth quarter with the basketball. Riley Hett dribbling top of the circle. Gives off to Lakin Schieferecke, who plays out of the perimeter. Dumps a pass down low for Cassie Cooks, but too strong and out of bounds on the baseline. Steve, you can feel, even with Manhattan trailing by 11, they're starting to feel some of that momentum.
Well, this is starting to remind me of the Andale game we had, where we had that big lead, and we got several possessions where we just turned it over and never got a shot.
Manhattan with the basketball for the first time here in the fourth quarter, and one thing that the Bullpups cannot let Manhattan do is let Christiana Carr get hot in this game, but great defense by Riley Hett, who cuts in front of the pass to Carr, and it's stolen away by Taylor Robertson. Taylor dribbling right to left, dumps the pass back out, Hett wide open 3, this time short, strong rebound, Christiana Carr on the backside. Carr brings the ball left to right. Carr driving in, trying to finish at the rim, gets the foul called, and she misses, but will go to the free throw line for 2.
Bullpups need to start working the ball inside a little bit. They're just basically settling for 3s now, and I think as soon as Mandy Cooks can get her win, she's going to be back in the game. She's kind of over there, running up and down, so maybe that Achilles is bothering her a little bit.
Christiana Carr knocks down the first of 2 here. That makes this a 10-point game, 7:10 to go. Carr was 6 in the night. And keep it at 6 as she misses the second one. Rebound tipped out and recovered by Lakin Schieferecke. So the Bullpups with a 10-point lead at 7 minutes to go. 42-32. Trying to knock off the defending 6A state champions to give them their first loss since December the 1st against St. Thomas Aquinas. They run the offense, had a great look for Cassie Cooks underneath, but a great defensive play underneath by Garen Williams, and a rejection knocks it out of bounds. Bullpups keep it on the baseline to our left.
And I think what the deal is, I think Mandy's just kind of when she's ready to go, she gives Coach Strathman the thumbs up and he puts her in. So Mandy back in the game.
Robertson lobs into the lane. Cooks kick out. Robertson 3 for the second time tonight. Rims in and out, but kept alive by Riley Hett. Robertson wanted the step back 3. Instead, into the lane. Cassie Cooks almost travels. Her pass back out to the perimeter, kept alive by Lakin Schieferecke. The Bullpups take a deep breath here. 6:35 to go. 42-32 McPherson. Manhattan trying to stay alive here at 1 point, down by 18. To the right side for Riley Hett, 6:25 to go. Cutting in the lane, Robertson, kick out. Hageman, great look from three. This time short. Schieferecke keeps the offensive rebound alive. It tips out of bounds and will stick with the Bullpups.
Bullpups, I tell you, every bounce right now is going their way.
Christiana Carr for Manhattan checks back in the spot of Haley Harper. 5 on the floor for McPherson and Riley Hett, Hannah Hageman, Taylor Robertson, Mandy Cooks, and Lakin Schieferecke. Schieferecke inbounding right in front of the 8 spot on the Bullpup bench. Robertson dribbles the left baseline, up and under and in. Taylor Robertson lets out a roar in front of the student section. And finally the Bullpups get back on the board. Recovering defense by Mandy Cooks, but a foul is called and Kyle Wilson will go to the free throw line for 2. Great defense to get back, but Wilson just had Mandy up in the air.
It had been almost 6 minutes, Jim, since the Bullpups had scored. So they were up 42-24, so that was a 8-0 run that was snapped there.
Robertson now with 17 points in this game, and the first free throw is way right from Kyle Wilson, a 72% free throw shooter.
Matt College men up 10 with 11 minutes to go on Sterling. Bulldogs been playing everybody tough, and they're in that familiar position, Jim.
McPherson women up by 12, and now up by 11 as Kyle Wilson goes 1 out of 2 from the stripe. She's got 5 points in this game. The Bullpups with an 11-point lead. 44-33. 6 minutes to go. Riley Hett dribbles. Hands off. Schieferecke splits 2 defenders. Kick out to Hageman in the left corner. Works off that Schieferecke screen. And now Hageman, his pass is intercepted by Christiana Carr. And a foul in the backcourt on Riley Hett probably prevents an easy layup for 2 for Christiana Carr. Hett picks up her second and team foul number 5.
Very smart play that time by Riley Hett. Bullpups, they don't need to score. They kind of need to just slow down a little bit. I think they're getting so excited about potentially winning this tournament for the first time in 6 years. They're just speeding up when they don't really need to.
Manhattan inbounds in the backcourt, walking the ball from left to right. Karen Williams, 5'10" senior. The team's leading distributor this season at 3.5 assists per game. Williams spins in, draws some contact, no foul. Tough defense by Maggie Leaf and Taylor Robertson on the offensive rebound, but Kyle Wilson gets the foul called and goes back to the free throw line for 2.
We haven't said Megan Worthington's name the entire night. She has not scored. I mean, she has just not been involved in the offense. Bullpups have done a great job on her.
Maggie Leaf is called for her second and team foul number 6. And the first free throw is missed by Kyle Wilson. 7.6 career points per game for her here at this Mid-America Classic. This is her 3rd trip. Second one for Wilson, also off the mark, and a rebound for Maggie Leaf underneath. So an 0 for 2 there for Manhattan, and that is a big swing in this one. That could have cut it to single digits, 44-33.
You want to score when the clock's not running, and they had a great chance. And I don't know what Coach Strathman is upset about something. Somebody didn't run the right play, apparently.
Roberts into the top for Maggie Leaf, now to the right wing, Riley Hett. Leaf rolls to the basket, going to work, draws some contact, but finishes anyway. Maggie Leaf with her second basket of the game, and they needed it, 46-33. Christiana Carr trying to do it on her own, drives in and finishes, and a wonderful take there. She's got 7, and back to an 11-point game. Bullpups in the backcourt, 5 minutes to go.
And I've been surprised Manhattan hasn't come with full court pressure. Maybe they feel like the Bullpups just won't turn it over, with Schieferecke been doing a great job running the point.
Lakin Schieferecke passes for Maggie Leaf, and it hits off of her knee, and a turnover. Up the floor for Carr. Carr trying to run, driving in, draws contact, no foul. Shot goes way over to the left side. Left open Worthington. She misses the 3. Ball knocked out of bounds, but it will stick with Manhattan.
Manhattan has a chance to finally get this thing into single digits, and I think Cassie's going to come in for Mandy here. Mandy getting a little winded.
So she gets a breather here. Mandy has yet to score in this second half, but she has 11 points on the game, has yet to even shoot in the second half. Still 5 out of 5. Carr inbounds up top, dribbling in. Taylor Johnson tries a 12-foot floater. It's good, and this is a 9-point McPherson lead. 46-37 with 4:32 to go. Steve, we've been talking about it in this game, that the Bullpups cannot let Manhattan have any life, and they've got a lot of life right now.
Well, a 13-4 run against Taylor Johnson coming out of nowhere and doing a fantastic job for them. But the Bullpups, the biggest problem, they've gotten so sped up on offense. You can just sense they know they're that close to the finish line, but they've got to slow down. The clock is on their side. They don't need to score. They just need to run some clock and make Manhattan foul them a little bit.
4:32 to go in this game. 46 McPherson, 37 Manhattan, in a battle of two number 2 teams in the state of Kansas. And the Bullpups will likely stay as the number 2 team with Bishop Miege winning down at Newton earlier. I wouldn't be surprised to see some Stags roll in here in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, last year when they got done at Newton, they stopped in and caught the end of our game. So they want to see us now that we have Mandy, and we're a different team, of course, with her in there.
Full court pressures. The Bullpups break it from right to left. 4:25 to go. 46-37. Entry pass. Cassie going to work. And one as she lets out a roar. They needed it right there. Cassie Cooks with the and one opportunity. She's got 4 points. And the Bullpups with a chance to make this a 12-point game.
Well, that's what they need. Get the ball inside. Get some low post scoring. First half it was all Mandy, and now Cassie with a couple baskets.
Cassie Cooks now with 4 and a chance to make it 5 with the and one play. And she does. The Bullpups have been good at the line tonight, 11 out of 14.
Cassie Stroke really looking good tonight.
Cassie with 5, Maggie Lee 4, Mandy Cooks 11, Taylor Robertson 17, 5 from Riley Hett, 4 from Lakin Schieferecke, and 3 from Emma Ruddle. The Bullpups lead at 49-37. Christiana Carr, Manhattan, trying to rally here, down by 12. Carr dribbles in, hands off Haley Harper. Harper drives down the right side. Contact from Taylor Robertson. A foul and one as Harper hit the deck and somehow got the shot to go. Taylor Robertson will pick up her second and team foul number 7.
And it was Haley Harper that won the game to get Manhattan here. Had she not made a free throw against Shawnee Mission Northwest, Manhattan may not even made the championship.
Harper completes the three-point play. The lead is back to 9, 49-40. Bullpups break the pressure. Over to the right wing for Taylor Robertson. Robertson, right corner, Riley Hett, passes up on the open 3, halfway through the final quarter. McPherson 49, Manhattan 40. And a great championship game here tonight. The Bullpups trying to have 2 perfect sweeps in tournament season at home. Robertson with 17 in the game on the right wing. Step back, 3 for 20. No, she gets hit, goes to the floor. Shot is missed, and a rebound, Christiana Carr. Manhattan can make this a 2-possession game. Carr loses her dribble, but it bounces right into the arms of Taylor Johnson. Carr from way downtown, good. Christiana Carr starting to heat up. She's got 11, and the lead is 6, 49-43. Manhattan starting to feel good, and right when they start to feel that way, Coach Strathman takes a timeout. McPherson 49, Manhattan 43 with 3:17 to go. We're back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
You're listening to McPherson Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
3:17 left to play in the Mid-America Classic title game. McPherson holds a 49-43 lead over the visiting Manhattan High Indians, but Manhattan is closing in fast, and part of it, Christiana Carr heating up from 3.
Yeah, she really is, and let's see, she's got 6 points in the quarter, 8.5 after a slow first half. Bullpups showing a little bit of panic. This is very reminiscent of that Andale game. They just have to settle down. They need a basket inside. Mandy back in the game to provide that senior leadership.
Lakin Schieferecke out at half court, being picked up by Christiana Carr as soon as she crosses half court to the left wing. Hannah Hageman. Hageman drives in, dumps it off Mandy, puts it on the floor, and gets it to go in. Mandy with her first basket of the second half. She's got 13, and now a turnover in the backcourt by Riley Hett. Riley Hett and the Bullpups can slow things down. No foul called. Over to the left corner for Lakin Schieferecke. That is a big swing right there. Bullpups back up on top by 8, 51-43, and the turnover.
How phenomenal has Riley Hett's defense been tonight?
Schieferecke pulls up, left elbow, knocks it down. Lakin Schieferecke with 6, and the Bullpups with a 4-point swing, 53-43. 2:30 to go. The Bullpup faithful start to get into it here at the Roundhouse, as they've been in a little bit of shock here for the last couple of moments as Manhattan's trying to rally. Carr, step back 3, good. Right in the face of Riley Hett. This makes it a 7-point game, 53-46. Carr with 14. And 11 of that coming in the second half, 2:10 to go. Bullpups with a 7-point lead. They need to take some time, but also need to get some points. Schieferecke left open 3. This time it misses off to the left side. Rebound by Riley Hett, but a foul is called. It'll go the other way, and Manhattan shooting a 1-and-1.
Yeah, and I got a text from my buddy Wilson. Wilson's getting a little nervous, but I'm going to tell Wilson I think the Bullpups are going to close this one out, Jim.
Riley Hett called for the foul. That's her third, and Manhattan will walk to the other end of the floor for a 1-and-1, and it is Taylor Johnson, the team's best free throw shooter, and the only person on the floor here that has a better shooting percentage from the line this year, the only person in the arena that can shoot a free throw maybe better than Taylor Robertson. Then I said maybe could shoot a free throw better than Taylor Robertson. And Taylor Johnson hits the front end of the 1-and-1 to make it 53-47.
Yeah, I think if Lake and Schieferecke had to do it over again, she wouldn't have taken that 3. I think she was so pumped from making that last shot. She thought she had a good look, but in that situation, you just want to run clock.
And right on cue, Taylor Johnson misses the second. This is a 6-point game. With 2 to go, the Bullpups have to take some time, and at this point, they're going to have to make their free throws. Hannah Hageman and the Bullpups lead 53-47, 1:45 to go. Schieferecke being defended by Christiana Carr, trying to avoid that 5 count. Robertson out near half court, now down to 135. Robertson trying to avoid the 5, and will get that separation. Robertson dribbles over to the left wing for Maddie Cooks. They get it back to Taylor, 1:25 to go. McPherson leading 53-47. Manhattan keeping the defense high, trying to avoid that 5 count. That is very important here. They cannot turn the ball over. Manhattan doubles. Lake and Schieferecke avoids the travel there, and a timeout taken by Coach Strathman. Let's keep it here, Steve. 1:16 to go, and Coach Strathman will call for a full timeout. Either way, let's keep it here. We've got time to talk. 53 McPherson, 47 Manhattan. Manhattan still has 1 foul to give. So at some point here, they're going to have to foul just to get them to the point where the Bullpups are in the bonus. The key down the stretch. Number 1, hold on to the basketball. No turnovers. Number 2, you have to make your free throws.
And right now it's a 2-possession game. If the Bullpups would say get fouled and make 1, that makes it 3-possession game. And then you just count on playing tough defense. But I don't think I've seen Coach Strathman this animated in a long time. He wants this really bad. You know, he's kind of tired of watching other teams walk out of here with that big trophy. It's sitting right in front of you. You got a great look at it. Bullpups have not won this trophy since 2012. That was the year that Bullpups won the state championship. Of course, they had the Miss Basketball, Peyton Lecker, leading the way.
Not bad.
Not bad.
So the Bullpups come out of the timeout. They will have the ball over on the far sideline in front of the McPherson High cheerleaders. Hannah Hageman, Taylor Robertson, Riley Hett, Lake and Schieferecke, and Maddie Cooks, the 5 on the floor. 1:15 left as they get it inbounded for Riley Hett. Remember, Manhattan has 1 foul to give. They double Riley Hett. They reach in, and a foul called on Christiana Carr. That is her 4th, though. So now, from here on out, the Bullpups are into the bonus.
Yeah, but you want the ball in Taylor Robertson's hands because they're going to foul. You want Taylor at the free throw line. Now, their designated fouler, I think, is coming into the game. This is a player we haven't even seen the whole game, so that tells me they're going to foul right away. And I think if you're the Bullpups, inbounds at the Taylor.
And they do, with 1:09 left to go in the game. Taylor feels the double team, and they come out to Fowler. They don't get the foul. They get it back to Taylor, and Maggie Morgan, the designated fouler, who has played in 1 minute and 45 seconds in this tournament, picks up the foul. That is her first, and Taylor Robertson going to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 with 1:02 to go and a 53-47 lead.
And Emma Ruddle coming in probably for defensive purposes, and Coach Strathman giving her a last second. I think Riley Hett's just exhausted. She has just hounded Carr, and boy, has Riley Hett been terrific tonight on the defensive end. And you got the player you want at the free throw line in Taylor Robertson. And Taylor's missed her 1 free throw of the month, so I don't, she missed 1 in December, she's missed 1 in January, and we're almost at the end of January. In fact, the Bullpups won't have another game in January, so she's already missed her 1 of the month.
She makes the front end, makes the second. The Bullpups now lead by 8. Taylor Robertson with 19. 1 minute to go. 55-47, and Manhattan turns it over, but then the Bullpups turn it over. In transition and finishing is Haley Harper. It was almost disaster for the Indians, who had thrown it up the floor. It hit off of Christiana Carr, and Mandy Cooks had stolen it, but her outlet pass slipped through the hands of the Bullpups, and Manhattan scores to make it a 6-point game. The designated fouler coming back in with 52.4 left. McPherson 55, Manhattan 49. The Bullpups will have the ball on the baseline, and Manhattan will show that pressure and then probably foul.
And again, you got to keep the ball in Taylor's hands. And it's sure nice seeing Taylor get to the free throw line, because the more she gets to the free throw line, the more she's going to score, because she just not miss the free throw line.
55-49. Manhattan is going to pull out all the tricks and all the stops here to try and get a turnover. A turnover keeps Manhattan in this game. It gives them life. It gives them some momentum. The Bullpups have to inbound and hang on for dear life.
You know, with 3:48 to go, we sure didn't think we were going to be nervous at the end. The Bullpups were up 18, but you knew Manhattan, that, you know, they rallied last year to win the state championship. They stormed back. Derby had that game won. Manhattan came back and ended up winning that game. So they know how to come back, because they have a lot of the same players on the floor that they did against Derby.
Mandy Cooks inbounds on the baseline to our right. Manhattan fouls quickly, which I kind of thought they would see if they could create a turnover in the backcourt. They foul Taylor Robertson, and she will walk to the other end with 51.4 left for another 1-1.
And again, Emma Ruddle back in. It was Emma Ruddle that made that deflection right after she came in, and then Taylor Robertson, the ball just kind of went off her right into the hands of the Manhattan player, and they scored. But we haven't gotten to that double bonus yet. You're a little more secure when you have that double bonus.
55-49. Taylor Robertson is her own security as she knocks down the front end of the 1-1. 56-49. Taylor on the ninth. This has been the most time she's taken a free throw in a game this year, 9 out of 10. And that's below her season and career average.
She's made 9 out of 10, and her free throw percentage has dropped.
10 out of 11 now. She hits both. That's huge. 57-49. Manhattan in a hurry. Taylor's defense almost knocks the ball out of bounds. It's last touched by Hannah Hageman down in the corner. So Manhattan burns about 5 seconds. 46.2 now. Still down 8. 57-49 McPherson.
And if the Bullpups can get a stop here, you got to like their chances.
Watch the inbounder. Carr will inbound over in the far corner. Carr smacks the basketball. Throws the ball up top. Manhattan dumps the ball inside. Hageman playing defense. Shot is missed by Haley Harper short. Second one missed. Robertson secures the rebound. 35 seconds left. Taylor brings the ball right to left. Taylor with somebody trailing from behind. They call out Wolf, and they get the ball back to Taylor, but instead, Mandy Cooks is fouled and will go to the free throw line for 2. 29.8 left. McPherson with a 57-49 lead, and Mandy Cooks stepping to the free throw line for a 1-1 with a chance to ice this game.
And what a night for Mandy Cooks. I think she's kind of gotten back. She knocks that first free throw down. Mandy Cooks, she's not all the way back, folks, but boy, you can sure see her getting there.
If this is not all the way back, then I can't wait to see what all the way back looks like. She knocks down both. Mandy's got 15. The Bullpups with a 10-point lead and 28 seconds left. Here comes Manhattan from left to right. Garen Williams dribbles in, tries to kick back out to the perimeter. Taylor Johnson, a step back, contested three, right wing. This one too strong. Offensive rebound, Carr. Turnaround three, no. Taylor Robertson a rebound with 12 seconds left. Taylor with 10 seconds left. She's fouled and will go to the free throw line for 2. Steve Sell, the one bucket list goal for this McPherson Bullpup senior class. Taylor Robertson, Mandy Cooks, they have yet to win the Mid-America Classic, and now they're 9.4 seconds away.
And I'd like to see Coach Strathman put his subs in here and let these starters get their due. Taylor just knocking them down just like they're 1-inch putts right now.
22 points for the senior, Taylor Robertson. Second one. Good. 61-49, 9.4 to go. Manhattan with one last chance here. 11 seconds left. Now down to 3. seconds. Manhattan knocks it down, but it will not matter. The final score, McPherson 61, Manhattan 52, and for the first time since 2012, the Bullpups win the Mid-America Classic. For the 11th time in school history, the Bullpups get to hold the shiny silver ball. 61-52, Bullpups win, Bullpups win, Bullpups win it. It's a 6-0 tournament season here at the Roundhouse, and Steve Sell, both of these McPherson High teams are rolling. Neither of them have lost since December 8th.
Well, I know this team, they're going to have a nice big exhale because the Monkeys kind of been on their back. It's really kind of bothered them a little bit, but it's just a fantastic performance, and it was great to see Taylor Robertson and Mandy Cooks were the ones, basically the last 3 minutes that scored all the points, so they did a great job, the Bullpups, of closing this game out.
61-52, the final score. McPherson shoots 42% from the field, and they shoot 17% from three, and still find a way to knock off the defending state champions at 6A. 61-52, the final score. We'll take a 2-minute break. When we come back, we wrap this thing up from the Roundhouse and hear from girls coach Chris Strathman, who is going to be so excited when he sits down with us. We're back in 2 minutes. You're listening to Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.
You're listening